All right, let's start the sewing. So you have a large needle, has a large eye of the needle, so it should be fairly easy to get the string through. Now this is not your typical string. It is a very heavy duty nylon cord that won't rip or break, so it holds the notebook together really well. All right, we're going to go ahead and lace it up. Start from the bottom. And having them pre-drilled makes it easier to pull the needle through. Notice I do not use any knots. When you use a knot, if you put a knot in the string, it's going to make it extra hard to pull it through. So I really recommend you don't put knots. Okay, there we go. So I have started on the end and I ended up on the end. So when you do an even number of holes, like 8 or 6, when you start on one end, you end up on the other end on the outside. So this is 1, 2, 3. So yeah, if I had done 6, I could have done the same way. All right, let's go to the next hole. We're going to go out to hole 1 from booklet 1, and then we'll go into hole 1 of booklet 2. Make sure the holes are lined up. I had one side that's a little shorter than the other. Make my life easier for later. Just lines up better. It's nicer finish if you do it properly. Okay, so there it is, the first hole. Sometimes when you pull it, that first one, you get kind of wrapped up with the string. So take your time, go slowly. Okay, I have tied not a single knot in my string, because what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just lacing it up. The knots will come at the end. So this is a style of bookmaking that you knot it at the end. Okay. So also notice that the books are connected only by that single string on the bottom at this point. Later on, they'll all be connected. Okay, the first 2 are done. We'll now go into the third one. Again, take a look and make sure their holes are pretty similar. It looks like the end is a little frayed on one side. So that's something I need to mess with at some point. Or I can make it part of my book. All right, so my third booklet. All right, be careful. It's really easy to get locked up or get twisted. So take your time. My third booklet, I've got that connected. Now I'm going to go into the last part. On the third booklet, so I'm going to go in the rest of that third booklet. Okay, so I've got my first 3 signatures or booklets all sewn together. I'm going to go into my last one. We'll line that up, make sure that they're about right. And then same thing as before, just be mindful of where you're going. Okay, so the last one, again, I'm just weaving it back and forth. It's kind of like lacing a pair of tennis shoes. I just want to lace it up. Okay, so there I have my 4 booklets all put together. And as you can see, it's kind of like a zigzag right now. And now I need to tighten it up and tie some knots. All right, so I'm showing you a very simple way to lace up a book. Many professional bookbinders don't do it this way. They go back and forth between the holes, and you can definitely do it that way. I can actually go out this hole, in this hole, out this hole, in this hole, and keep going back and forth. And that's another way to tighten it up. Option. You can also bind the end. Bookbinding is creating a binding, creating an ending. And the way I do that is I tie an X on the end, tie a little standard knot on the end. Okay. So you want to pull it really, really tight and create an X, and then pull that really, really tight. There you go. All right, so now that's knotted. Now I'm going to put some knots in these other ones, okay? I use a slip knot method. What I do is I take the needle and I go under the 4 strings. I pull it through. And I go under the 4 strings again. And second time through, I'm going to be looking for this loop. To create a slip knot, what I need to do is make, you basically go through the same thing twice and then go through the loop, and that locks on itself. So you pull that tight and that should lock. Okay. So again, let's show you one more time. So you go under the 4 strings, under once, go under the 4 strings twice, and then through the loop, and it locks. Do it again. Slip knot here. Go under once, go under twice, and then through the loop. All right, and then I need to knot the end. And so I'm going to go under that one, I'm going to go under this one. I'm going to go under the first one again, second time through, and then through the loop. It doesn't move too much. It's got a little wiggle to it. So I'm going to go back through one more time, just to tighten it up one more time. So I'm going to do a couple more slip knots. Go once, go twice, and then go once, and twice. And lock it in place again. Do one more for good measure. Why not? All right. Now I go this one. Go under once. Okay, I hit the string. I'm kind of locked in there, so I go back out. If you ever get to the string, you can't pull it through. Go back through. Twice. And then through the loop. All right, and I think to finish it off, I'll just tie a little knot here. All of that string will be hidden. So when I put my binding, I put my book binding together, you won't see any of that string. And take a pair of scissors, and this is just extra. I don't need any of that. So once you have your final knot, this should be really tight, okay? So this will be hidden, because what's gonna happen is you will have this book binding, and this will be back here. And that little string and stuff is going to be all bound up in there. You won't see that. Okay? Let's see some string on some of the pages. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of this construction paper. I'm going to take my glue stick here. Generally like to use the Elmer's glue and just spread it with a piece of cardboard. But you can use glue stick as well. It just sometimes it'll come off with a glue stick. So in class, we'll probably use the Elmer's glue. But the idea is the same. You're going to These sheets of black construction paper are going to be the cover pages. Usually in a book you have a cover page, entry page. All right, so where I'm putting glue stick, you'll probably use Elmer's glue and a piece of cardboard to spread that.